Hi guys, I have here Michal Peichl, and he's the designer of Forestry. Can you introduce yourself?
Well, hi guys, I'm Michal, and I'm not a very new designer, but this year I will introduce my first big board game called Forestry. So I'm really happy that DSV is doing this game.
We're also happy about that. Can you tell us how you
Cool.
started as a board game designer when you haven't published your first game? What was the start of your design process?
Mhm. Well, I started like 7 years ago when I joined the brand Albi in Czech Republic, and at that time they didn't have any of their own games, they localized games, and I was working there as a graphic designer. And as I was playing a lot of board games, I started to coming up with my own ideas. And my first board game was like small card game, only like 100 cards. It was called Trample Beasts, and it was revolved around the very simple mechanism of the more cards you play of the same type, the stronger effect or the stronger outcome you will gain from that. So I started revolving my first designs around one strong, simple mechanism that led to through the whole game.
I understand, but it's quite a step from such a small card game to a big board game like Forestry. What are the difference between design-wise between a small card game and such a big board game?
Well, definitely a time consummation, as you can expect. I would say it taught me a lot because making a simple card game is definitely easier than this big one, and I took it as a personal challenge. So I tried to do my best to find the mechanisms that I liked to add something from myself, so the game is not like only copy of other games. And I would say that at the time when I started, I wasn't that much experienced, even though like I managed to publish more than one little card game, but still it was like really hard process. It was full of not fails, but like reconsideration of mechanisms and like doing again and again new prototypes and everything like many times, like 50 times, like all of the game. So it was really hard for me, but I think it was also a great school to me. I finally managed to like put this big chunk of a game to the state of being published. Yeah. So
Yes, I can understand that. And where did you find inspiration for Forestry? Because it's quite a unique theme for a board game. There are a lot of board games about a forest, but this is more about taking care of the forest. And where did you
Mhm.
find this inspiration for this game?
Yeah, I'm not like 100% sure, but in my childhood I lived in like mountain area, and there were a lot of forests. There still are, and I like love walking in the forest, and it was so close to me that it got attached to my heart and everything. But I guess the first impulse was mechanical more than thematic, because I was aiming to make a game where all players would like care for one resource. Maybe the similar game would be Barrage, because there you care about water, and each player must work with it, and you like cooperate or you don't cooperate, but you have to see where the water is and how to use it. And I started to revolve forestry around this mechanism of like exhausting this resource and then like returning it back. And then I realized that wood and forests would fit perfectly for this, because you harvest some, but then you have to plant some new ones, so it renews. Yeah, so that was the reason, more mechanical, but I love the theme also. So it's both sides.
Yes, I understand. Do you have a specific moment in the design process that you will never forget? Was there one moment that you thought, all right, this is going to be a hit?
I don't remember any like one particular moment, but there were a lot from the start, because the start of designing the game is most exciting part for me, because everything is like getting born under your hands, like from scratch, from notebook. It becomes realized game that can be played with your friends. And then there were some other like remarkable steps when I started testing with skilled designers. Then I saw like my head exploded, and I saw the options and ways how to improve the game, and that was like really, really great.
Yes, because is there a big difference between the first prototype you produced and the final game? Are there a lot of difference and changes made in this game?
Yeah, there were a lot of changes, a lot of mechanisms twisted and put upside down and backwards and everything. I think that if you experienced designing a game, then you can like imagine this pretty well. And
Absolutely.
this was like a big chunk of work to be done, and I'm really happy that finally my own brand, Pink Troubadour, that we founded after I left my like initial board game company. Then the friends that sorry
No
the
problem.
people who started the brand with me, and actually I started with them, they said to me, hey, let's make the game together, let's publish it. And I was so happy, because they showed that they believe in this project and that they are not afraid of people saying, hey, this game is only about chopping wood and it's not ecological at all. And I felt all this support, and yeah, it was just great.
That sounds great. And how long did it take from the first steps of this game till this product? How many years did it take to produce this and
Mhm.
to make it?
Well, it took 3 years and few months, and it feels like eternity for me. But it's not that long time. I know that designing or finishing some other big games took even more years, even like double time, 6 years. Yeah, so it's not that long, but it feels like really long ago, but it's not.
You've aged a lot of years since the beginning of this process, I can understand. And are you currently working on maybe another game? Are there any things you can share with us, or is it all secret?
Well, it's secret, but there will be some, well, at least one title in the 2026.
Okay.
And I guess it will be released at Spiel as usual for me, basically.
Yes. And do you plan to make one game a year in the following years, or do you want to make more games, or is it just when you think of a game that you will produce it? How does it work for you?
Well, I would like to have at least one game per year, but I'm not sure I can make it each year. So let's see. I don't have any like particular aim or like time schedule, but I'm still like thinking about games and like writing down notes into my notebooks, and then I review everything and try to make something interesting from it. So I guess I will be continuing in the future, definitely.
Yes, that sounds great. If you can to co-design a game with another designer, what would your favorite designer be to co-design a game with?
Well, there is a lot of them. I love many people's work, and like this year I really enjoyed the Mannefer from Germain Milan, and I love in general Simone Luciani's designs, and a lot of more people even from Czech Republic, because we have a lot of good designers, I would say.
Yes.
Yeah, so there is like plenty of people that I would love to try working with.
Yes, because the Czech Republic does have a lot of great designers and a lot of great boarding companies. Do they put meeples in the water? I mean, how is it possible there are so many great designers from the Czech Republic?
Well, I'm not sure. Maybe we just love playing, or maybe there is the color of the meeples in our water system, or I don't know.
I understand. What's your favorite game of all time?
Oh, that's a hard one. Well, I have, again, many, but I will name just a few. Barrage, as I mentioned. I love Carnegie. I love Kanban EV from Vital Lacerda. I love Paladins of West Kingdom from Garfield Games, and many, many more. But basically, I love Eurogames with little of luck. And when it's like really hard to decide, then I feel good. Like I really like to, uh, yeah, work on my brain while I'm playing.
I think we could play a game. I really like those two. Barrage is a great game. And Simone will see how the
Nice.
games are great. So I think we're on the same page about this.
Perfect.
Maybe people have seen this interview and think, all right, that's a nice guy. It sounds epic. Can you maybe pitch them Forestry in maybe a minute why people should buy this game?
Yeah, okay. So, as you said, the theme is about balancing the care about forest and cutting down some wood for making wooden products of like very different types. And I would say what's the most interesting is the dual worker system. You work with a harvester that moves through the forest map, and then you have the sawmill manager, and she, because it's she manager, she works on the sawmill and solves a very different part of the game, that is like taking contracts and adjusting the wood for customers, getting resources and everything. So you have to balance not only care and harvest, but you also have to balance between those two workers. And just in 10 rounds, you find out who has the most victory points and who is the winner.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for your time. Those are all the questions we've had prepared. So thank you so much. Please take a look at Forestry. It will be in the Netherlands, published by these 3 games. Thank you so much.